Before cities and kings, picture a world lit only by fire. 10,000 years ago, on a windswept shore, a small band of humans lived by the rhythm of the seasons. They followed the herds, the tides, and the stories whispered in the dark. But a single planted seed changed the course of human history. Along the fertile banks of the Nile, the Tigris, and the Indus, farming took root, encouraging us to stay. The harvest promised security, and surplus gave rise to new ways of life. Granaries swelled, supporting artisans, priests, and soldiers. Writing etched laws into clay. Bronze forged the tools of power. From scattered seeds grew sprawling cities. On the Yellow River Plain, in the highlands of the Andes, and across Mesoamerica, unique civilizations blossomed, each a different answer to the same questions of survival and meaning. These new cities acted like magnets, pulling in people, wealth, and belief, forging the first states and the first empires. Roads built by Persians, debates held by Greeks, and laws written by Romans began to stitch the world together. Yet empires are built not only with stone and steel, but with ideas. In the courts of the Mauryan and Gupta, new visions of order arose. Under Han rule, silk and census data flowed across a vast domain. And beyond the palace walls, a different kind of power was spreading. Carried by merchants and monks, beliefs traveled as readily as spices. Hinduism, Buddhism, and Confucianism offered paths to purpose through duty, compassion, and harmony. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam wove communities across deserts and seas, bound by covenant, grace, and devotion to one God. These faiths traveled the same arteries that carried goods, the Silk Roads, the monsoon sea lanes, the Saharan caravan routes. For a time, the Mongol conquests unified this vast network, but what connection builds, it can also destroy. In the 14th century, the plague tore through these same routes, shattering a world with terrifying speed.
Then, around the year 1500, the world's great oceans, once barriers, became highways. On the docks of Iberia, whispers of silver and spice became bold plans to sail into the unknown. These voyages fused separate worlds into a single, turbulent global system. The Columbian Exchange moved corn and potatoes, but also smallpox and sugar, reshaping landscapes and lives. The brutal machinery of Atlantic slavery chained millions, building fortunes on a foundation of human grief. Peoples long separated met, and from this violent, world-altering contact, new questions arose. How does nature work? Who has the right to rule? These questions ignited revolutions. They echoed in the halls of thinkers and on the streets of America, France, and Haiti, where a new standard of freedom was declared. Soon, the whistle of a steam engine in Manchester announced another shift. The industrial age remade work, time, and the very shape of our cities, creating immense wealth and staggering inequality. The hunger for resources and markets fueled a new age of empire, its orders sent by telegraph from distant capitals. This era of dominance shattered in the trenches of 2 world wars. The machinery of progress became the machinery of death, culminating in the Holocaust. A tense peace followed, a Cold War that carved the globe into rigid spheres of influence. Yet from the shadows of empire, new nations rose, and on city streets, a generation marched for civil rights, demanding a dignity long denied. Finally, late in the century, a message leaped across an ocean in an instant. Digital networks and globalization have bound our economies and our lives ever more tightly. In an age of artificial intelligence and a warming planet, we are more connected and more vulnerable than ever before. The choices we make now in this networked world will write the next chapter of our shared story.